everybody. Welcome back to the Fresh Life Vlog.
Whoa, welcome. This is like pretty dope. Week 2.
Yes, and part 2 of our latest series, Mental Issues and Us.
So, last week, of course, we discussed the aspects of what we deal with, as far as ourselves personally, concerning mental health, whatever mental issues that we have. And we promised you because, A, we were running long on time and we didn't want to hold you any longer. You got things to do.
True.
But we wanted to make sure that we came back for part 2. And so we got some exciting things to talk about today. So, man, strap yourself in your seat.
All right, so here we go. Well, you know what? To be honest, last session, I felt like we really focused on me. So I've prepared a little something for Chris.
I bet you did.
I was like over here taking notes
I'm
about
excited.
what I wanted to talk about.
Am I going to be interviewed today?
Slightly. I feel
Okay.
like you are going to have the spotlight on you, though.
That's fair. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. So when it comes to, let's wrap up something that I was talking about, and then we're going to dive into you. All right, so here we go. So last episode, I was talking about just my morning routine and how that helps me with anxiety and stuff. And the thing I didn't talk about that I wanted you to talk about too is working out and what has that done for us. So I used to really stress myself out about working out for my physical self, like losing weight, right? Number one reason why I worked out. That has changed for me dramatically. I literally work out because of what it does for my mind. I feel so much better like after a workout. Just the clarity of mind. If I go into a workout stressed or tense, I leave out relaxed, joyful. It makes me in a better mood. It makes me excited about my day. It really helps set the tone. So I try to always incorporate a workout as part of my morning routine.
That's really good. Like for me, I have for years desired to have the proper strength and weight, that was associated with kind of like feeling like I'm the man, to like having that feeling of like I can handle myself, in some situation.
Can we tell them about the time you tried to pick me up?
Okay, we'll get to that. I was premature in my working out and I tried to pick Jazmine up.
Do you remember?
I do.
Real?
We're in your apartment.
Yeah, in Columbus.
Yeah, but now let's not also leave out the fact that I carried you up your stairs.
You did.
Okay.
But
it was
trying
one
to put me on his
time that I tried to pick up Jazmine, and my knees buckled, and then like here's the thing. Let me tell you something. The worst indicator of how much your woman weighs is when your knee buckles. Like there's nothing more embarrassing for you and her.
And me.
Like you share in that. It was crazy. But let me also say that was a defining moment for me. It said you have to get stronger. So for so long, I kind of pedaled with working out, lifting weights here and there. And we joined the gym, and the gym was a little bit expensive. And so for us, you would look at your bank account and be like, man, like, I'm not working out. Like, what am I doing? So I made a decision that I wanted to be very consistent and give myself a chance at being strong.
I think I was just going to actually cancel the membership.
Yeah, and I said, no, don't do it. I got this.
Either you going to go or not now.
And so I would find time. Whether I'm in school and I stayed up late or I had to be up early, and I would go to the gym at 6. I would go late at night. Like, it didn't matter. Like, I was going to make it happen. And just in a matter of time, like it became, I always say, the gym became my morning coffee.
Yes.
It became my energy. And I think for a while, I don't know if Jazmine understood what I was trying to say when I was saying that, until she got into the throes of working out.
And what I loved about it is that we both understood it. So before I might complain about him going to the gym, right? Especially if he wanted to go to the gym after work. It was like, excuse me, can you please come home? I got these kids. Like, nobody got time for no gym. But once I started to incorporate in my life and just really understand all the benefits from it mentally and physically, just all over, it really has helped.
And for, I would say that there's moments where, and they've always said this, that, working out is a stress reliever. It is a way for you to release those endorphins, to feel refreshed about yourself. And after I work out, I'd shower, I hit the steam room, and I would just take my time taking care of me. It's this time to like take care of yourself and your body just feels invigorated,
Yes,
after
it
you
really
you
does.
work out hard and your
Yeah.
body's all tight, and I mean,
Mhm.
your mind is more focused. I mean, I
Mhm.
think that there's something amazing about it. And I'm
It
not
really
I'm not
is.
encouraging you to go out and buy some expensive gym membership.
No.
I
I
will
used to
say,
run around the block all the time.
yeah, or
Yeah.
walk, or
Yes, just be
but
active.
getting physically
Yeah.
active to some
Elevate your heart
degree.
rate.
What
Yeah.
it could be yoga, it could
Yeah.
be whatever it needs, but your body
Mhm.
has to move, and that changes how your mind works throughout the day.
I totally agree. So, yes, so that's that. The other thing that I struggle with that I briefly talked about was my negative beliefs or my negative thinking. And I just was wanted to expound on that. One of the things that you've really helped me with throughout the course of our relationship, and I'm constantly always working on, is what my negative self-talk stemmed from. So mine stemmed from the core belief that I am not enough. So I will filter ideas, things that Chris wanted to do with me and him. Like Chris has wanted to do like a something in terms of the fresh life for so long, but the negative self-talk will always keep me kind of stagnant or stuck. And how can you talk about that? Because it'll be times where like I won't even know what's wrong with me and I'll just start crying, and Chris has to kind of just like weigh out those waters and try to help me figure it out or just come to my rescue in some type of way. So I know I've grown a lot in identifying my emotions and my feelings, but can you just talk about that, like as a spouse, and knowing your wife has all this potential that she's not tapping into?
Well, I think I have to be very candid. A portion of, some of that hesitancy that you may have had, of course, came from me.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't performing, my duties, and being faithful the way that I needed to be, as a husband.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when you have that, you have, a little bit of hesitancy
Right.
to really put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't feel good to have room in your area to be criticized.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
a lot of that's on me, and I'll take responsibility for that, in
Mm-hmm.
front of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say um, is that it's a responsibility for a husband to nudge but not push.
Mm-hmm.
Nudge enough to where if you see someone that wants to move, just give them a slight tap. But if you push someone before they're ready, then now you're dealing with pressure. And I don't know anybody that necessarily performs under pressure well all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, I think it's just important to encourage your spouse or your partner or your best friend or your mom or whoever to be the best version of themselves because they got it in them.
I totally agree, and I just really love that what
And
you
you got
just
it in
said.
you. Let me
Thank
just
you.
say, you got everything in you. I always tell you this. You have everything in you to be great. Like you're already great.
Thank you.
Like you have everything in you to be like this rare star. Like right now, we're mourning, the death of, Nipsey Hussle,
Right.
and what you see online and on social media is
Mm-hmm.
the star that he was. Like
Mm-hmm.
even when he's not here,
Mm-hmm.
you see how much of an impact he had even when he's not here.
Yeah.
And what I know about your life is that you have all the same potential.
Thank you. Thank you. No, and it's like it's seeping into me, that self belief that okay, I can do this. So overcoming that negative mindset is something that I'm constantly working on, and like I said in the last podcast, to help with that, I do a lot of affirmations, a lot of writing and journaling, and vision boards and things like that. So the other thing I wanted to say was
I'm so interested in knowing where this is
is
going.
to talk about Chris. Oh, before I say that, I just want to give you kudos for what you just said about not being faithful to us like you wanted to, because the defining moment I think in a lot of relationships where people try to figure out is this worth pursuing and keep fighting for, or should I walk away, is people's willingness to do the work and to own their stuff and to make changes. And I feel like you have done that in such a beautiful manly way, and I am so honored. And it wasn't overnight. I will be honest, it was a long journey and process of failing and coming back, failing and coming back. But when it just finally clicked for you just to own your stuff and to do the work to be the best husband and best father, like I really appreciate that. And I just think that that is so important for people out there trying to figure out, well, what should I do? of course that's a spiritual answer that only you can answer, but more than that too, is this person trying to do the work? Are they willing to make the changes that need to be made in order for us to be successful? And I think that's just a real relationship, like changing for each other.
Like, and to be very, very honest with you, and everyone else, like the hardest thing to do is to own your stuff.
Yeah.
But
No,
can I tell y'all
that's
something?
so hard.
Like the thing is,
I struggle with owning
the
my
thing
stuff.
I know is that once you own it, like,
Yeah.
and you say to yourself, I don't care if you're just like, you close the door, you shut the world out, and you say, okay, I am tired of being criticized for this. Like, I don't care if you could be overweight, you could just not have money, whatever it is, and you're tired of being criticized for it. You could simply say to yourself, this, I'm going to get in front of this, and I'm going to find a way to own it, and I'm going to take hold of it. And once you do that,
Yeah.
now you have the energy to change it, because the energy to change it can't come from guilt and shame.
Right. Oh, that's so good.
It's no energy there. It's guilt and shame. It's negative energy. It's drawing you back into the closet, into a negative space. But I don't care what you got going on. It could be any level of shame about anything. When you say, this is who I am, and I know I got an issue, I know I've messed up, I know whatever it is, I'm owning it, and I am willing to be responsible to change it. You're not going to be perfect, but at least you're owning it, and no one else is dragging you by your bags.
That is so good. It's so hard. Okay, we're going to get back on topic, I hope. But it is so hard to own your stuff.
It's hard.
Like pride, it's that willingness of like, I am so attached to how you identify me. I am so attached to that perception of myself that you are holding, and to dismantle that or to let you in on some truth is very hard. And just also just that pride of just like, okay, I've messed up, I'm not perfect. And I think that's also really challenging for me, because
Wow. Hello. First off, I must say, we are so sorry for interrupting your good time that you were having with Mental Health and Us Part 2. But the amateur in us just kind of forgot that we don't have the SIM card or the SD card or whatever card it is that we need to make this video so long. So we're correcting that issue today. Jumped on Amazon, fixed the problem, got stuff coming to my door tomorrow. And let me say that the audio is still available. So what I want you to do is to sit tight, continue to listen, and enjoy the rest of this episode, which is unbelievable and phenomenal. I'm missing my girl right now. She's not sitting with me, but trust me, she's very near, and she's near to your hearts. So continue to listen. Make sure that you share, comment, and like. And we look forward, of course, to continuing this journey with Mental Health and Us. Thank you, guys.
it's like little stuff that me and Chris will go through, and he'll just be like, own it, Jazz, just own your stuff. And that's hard for me, because it's like the perfectionism comes out, because I'm not enough, so I gotta prove it, I gotta show you how enough I am. And when I fail or when I'm not perfect, owning that is so hard for me. But I'm learning you've taught me, I witnessed it, about the strength that really comes with owning your stuff.
At the end of the day, what I realize is that nobody can kill you because they don't think highly of you. Like, nobody can. That's a season, like, we're from Cleveland, so we know what a winter looks like. And on some days it's just cold outside and it may be 30, and some days it's 15 but it still hasn't snowed. But some days it's 2 degrees and it's 15 inches of snow. And the thing that you got to realize is that it's going to go away.
Yeah, that's
like,
so true.
It's not forever.
That's so true.
It's just cold now. And when you go outside, there's nobody there with you. And it feels lonely.
Yeah.
But in the next few months, everybody's going to be outside with you. And it's going to be nice weather, and life is going to be completely different.
Yes, that's so true. So whatever anybody is going through, I just want to encourage you, if you're going through any type of shame, guilt, any type of addiction, any type of bad choices, any type of anything that you just aren't proud of, and you know that people might be chatting about it, or a few people here know, a few people there know, but you're just still trying to deny it, or whatever it is, just own it. And it makes me think of when we was was watching Iyanla Fix My Life, one of the episodes, it was this girl on there, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but she was like a reality housewife.
Yes,
and she was
yes,
very,
yes,
very
yes.
beautiful, but she just had a problem with whatever Iyanla was trying to tell her. She did not want to go with the program. She was not bought in. She was resistant and fighting against it. And we could all tell, like, you're wounded, you are hurt. And she kept fighting against it to the point she left. But what I was thinking the whole time was we were all rooting for her to make the shift.
Wow.
We were all rooting for her. So that pride of her not wanting to admit this, I don't want to admit that this is why I did the show. I don't want to admit my motive. And she was very prideful. She was very restrictive. And on the outside looking in, everybody is rooting for you. Everybody's rooting for your wholeness. Everybody's rooting for your journey. Like, so you're the one that's up there all mad, bent out of shape. Your energy is off. You're distancing yourself from other people. You're going through all these changes when everybody around you is just like, thank you for telling me. Thank you for finally owning it. Like, this is all we ever wanted. Yeah. So I try to think about that, like, especially when we're in arguments, it's sometimes hard for me to, like, come on the other side. But it's like, no, Chris is he's rooting for me. Like, all I got to do is own it, say I'm sorry. He's right there to receive me.
Can I tell you, like, somewhat of what that is? Like, there's this stress that we allow ourselves to sit in, and it's... when negative people are coming at us, or you hear people like talking about, drama concerning your life or whatever it is, we tend to turn our face toward that, and we focus on battling that. Like, we are going toe to toe with that, using all of our energy, anything new that we can create from our mistake. We're using it to fight these old battles, because everything they're discussing is in the past.
Right.
They haven't discussed anything in the future, because they only know that positive things can exist in the future, but what they can hold on to is in the past. So they keep focusing this way, but the true energy is this way.
Right, it's forward.
Like, and it's forward. And so if you ignored all the people over here yelling and yapping and discouraging you, because all the gossip is just discouragement masked in stories. If you continue to focus that way, nothing. If you focus this way, whatever they're talking about, the stress goes away, and now suddenly you're harnessing all this positive energy from your mom or somebody, your sister who's telling you, girl, listen, I know you went through it, but man, like, trust me, like, we gonna get through this. This ain't your first time. Or your son who walks up to you and hugs you even though you're crying. Like, focus this way. That energy is what's gonna lift you up and propel you forward.
Right. Yep, absolutely. All right, so let's use these last 15 minutes to stay on topic. Thank you for sharing all that great stuff.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to talk about ADHD, basically, to just wrap this one up, and how it's affected our relationship, good and bad. So Chris told us last episode that you were diagnosed as an adult with adult ADHD.
Attentive, hyper, adult. Wait, is it attentive, attention, hyper, adult disorder?
No, I don't think adult is in it.
No? Attention.
Because kids can have ADHD.
Hyper.
Attention deficit hyper.
Disorder.
Disorder?
Yes. Attention, it's at the bottom. Attention hyper deficit disorder. That's what it is.
ADHD.
Yes.
Attention.
Attention. Hyper.
No, attention deficit hyper.
Okay, ready?
I don't know.
Attention deficit hyper disorder. Boom.
That's it. It better be it. All right. So, anyways, and so he took a self-survey. Then he finally went and got diagnosed, and he got prescribed medicine. Talk to us about that.
So the medicine, my brother, who is, shout outs today. It's April Fool's.
Birthday.
It's April 1st. It's April Fool's, my brother's birthday. So happy birthday to my guy. But the thing is that he was the guy who told me, hey, there's a way for you to get this focus. And I didn't know what it was. And this was really the first time that I realized. I didn't realize for a while that I had this issue until I took one of these pills.
Oh.
And now my brother's not a street pharmacist. He's legal beagle, above the board. All's good. So if you hear out there, he only gave me one pill. He didn't sell it to me. He gave me one. Mm-hmm. And he said, brother, family member, if somebody's listening, he said, here, I took one. and I was up for 24 hours.
Yeah, he wrote Love Laws, I think.
So, after a while, I was like, okay, like this is pretty cool. So, taking that medication, it was an eye opener for me because it showed me you have a deficit somewhere. Because this feeling of a sharpened attention span is something that you can't ever find unless you're on this medication. And so, I wrote my book, being on this medication. It was either the medication or wine. One of the two.
Wrote the book. It is what it is.
It is what it is. The book is finished. I'm an author. The history is done. But
get it however you need to get it.
How you live. All right. And so the necessity of this conversation is just that it showed me that there's another half of me. And the thing about the medication, even today, is that it causes me a little bit of anxiety to think about taking it. Here's why. Because in taking it and opening the bottle and pouring it into my hand is an acknowledgement that I have a deficit. That's something mentally that I have not been able to necessarily get through. Sometimes it's the feeling of, I don't have an appetite. I like to eat. I like to cook. I don't have that appetite. Sometimes I'm too focused. I get drawn into something. I can't get out of it. But it's a beautiful thing. And it's a place that I've realized about myself.
Yes, that's so good. I too feel a little bit of discouragement when I have to take a Xanax because I feel like I beat myself up. Like, you're not praying enough. Like, did you give it to God yet? Like, why are you just going right into the medicine and not taking a moment to meditate or whatever? And sometimes when you're so far, your anxiety is so bad. Yes, all those things help, but sometimes it has gone too far and I just need help getting back and get into a balance. But so I can understand where you're saying, like, it's just like, dang, I have this disorder.
Yeah.
Like, and I need help with it. Yeah. So you're currently not medicated.
I am not medicated, so watch out. I'm on the prowl.
I don't know what that
I am
means.
unmedicated. Because people, sometimes people are nervous when people are medicated. And I'm just saying that
people are nervous when they're unmedicated?
Yeah, people are nervous when other people are medicated. And I'm telling you right now that I am on the prowl. I'm here to be Timmy the Tangent in your conversations. Okay? I could talk about it all. I can switch subjects left and right.
Yes.
Because I have the ability without my medication.
The ability. Oh,
now
you're making it to your superpower.
Give you all of this brain.
That is so funny. All right. So how has it affected our relationship? Well, according to me, you're going to get Chris's opinion.
Can I fact check this?
Yes, okay. Of course. This is according to me. This is my opinion. Yes. This is from my perspective, my lens, right? It can create if we are not intentional, a parent-child dynamic within our relationship. I will become the responsible parent who is always nagging and telling Chris what to do, what needs to be done, don't forget, blah, 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 blah.
Now, true. Studies do show that that's actually a possible thing. Now, with the other...
Don't be in denial.
No, that's true.
Not be in denial.
It is true. But here's the thing you have to realize is that the person with the disorder can't control the disorder.
Right.
The person with the behavior stemming from the disorder can control the behavior. So if a person deems it necessary to act as the parent, then that's something that they may fall into easier to keep the relationship flowing easier. So there's many times where Jazmine will say, hey, Chris, can you watch that load, today? I feel like you just recently said that, and I didn't do it. Okay.
This is. Oh, we could think about a lot of things that are recent.
And we actually thought, the funny thing is, and I'll get back to that point, we actually thought that I was having a memory problem for a while. You remember that?
Yeah.
And so once you study...
We've been on a journey.
Once you study this thing out...
Yeah.
And again, this is what I want to actually tell you. Let's lift it up 35,000 feet. Whatever your issue is, there's some element to your situation, your illness, whatever it may be, that is similar to someone that's affecting someone around you. So this may be our thing, ADHD, anxiety. This may be our thing and how we cope with it. But however, whatever your issue is, someone around you is coping with the same stuff.
Right.
But I remember when Jazmine asked me to do the laundry, and she would have to come back, Chris, like, did you take that laundry downstairs? I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you're right. And it wouldn't be anything like
No, this
on
happens
purpose,
all the time in our relationship.
but it's not purposeful.
It's
like,
not purposeful.
It's legit. Like in my mind, I moved on, and I went to do something else. And I could have done something else good. I could have decided to go to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and,
right. No,
you
facts.
know,
It could. Yes, exactly. It's yes, he could do a lot of things good or that still needs to be done. But the thing I might have asked for would get overlooked. Like for example, today
what?
he told me.
What? Oh, this is a
Today,
shocker.
no, it's not, because you're gonna be like, oh,
Okay.
Today he told me he was gonna fix the blinds downstairs.
I did not say that.
Yes, you did.
I said that I would order
and he
it.
said it's so charming this morning. He's like, he looked at me, oh, baby girl, I got you.
I said
got
that
you,
I would
baby.
order it. I said I would order it, and it's still time in the day. It's
I
only,
was just about to ask, has they been ordered yet?
It's only 5 o'clock.
All right, I'm gonna check back in with y'all. I'll let y'all know what happened from that. But just the other day, another example, which I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just trying to express.
This is a shocker.
What we go through, because it can also include the kids. Like, I have reminded Chris probably at least 3 or 4 times to register Caleb for basketball.
Okay, you should make a YouTube video of all these things I forget.
The day after registration closes, he says, "Oh, I have a 1 o'clock appointment with the guy I'm trying to get Caleb in."
We were out of town. That did not change the registration. It didn't change the registration.
So
just letting you know.
To my very point, Caleb is not registered for spring basketball.
He needed a break.
Okay, so this is a good example. What y'all just saw right now, us laughing, is how we cope with a lot of stuff. And we just have to let it go, because I understand it's not my husband's intention. And I always say, baby, I just know how your brain works. And I say loving things like that. Another tool I use to get him to remember to do stuff is, he don't even know I do this, is I touch him. Because, when you involve more senses, it helps people to remember things, or it makes it more important. So I might touch them and say, baby, can you please take out the trash? Or, y'all can't. I don't know if y'all can tell that I just touched
I feel like a zoo animal, like being, like, studied.
Yeah, or I make eye contact with them, because I've noticed that the more that I do that, like really engage him, not just like a flyby, like, can you take the trash out? I gotta go. Like, not like that. But if I'm more intentional, like, baby, can you please take the trash out? Like, it'll get done better. So
basically, she has to talk to me like a teenager.
No.
But I understand, because here's
the thing. He receives it better. Just, that touch from me, I think too, just make him feel like I'm gonna do something for her. Like, baby, can you take the trash out?
Yeah, I'm gonna do something for you.
I
do something for you.
I know you
will. Do something for you.
I know you will.
But listen, here's the thing. I want to just encourage you. If these are symptoms that you've dealt with, man, hit me up on Instagram. Hit us up, in on an email. And ask me, maybe some questions about how you can deal with it. Yeah. Because truth be told, it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us out there who deal with. I'll give you an example. I know when I have homework for school. And it's very consistent for me. I know when I have homework. I'm very last minute, because I like the pressure of doing homework last minute, and I'm pretty good at it. So it works for me. It may not work for you, but what also is the problem is, I can start doing my homework with 2.5 hours remaining to complete the assignment. The problem is that I'm going to spend 1.5 hours of that time all over the internet.
Yes.
Like, legit just looking up, shopping, doing everything possible, because my mind takes a while to get to this corner where it's pressure and it's work to do.
Yes. And most of the time, because and just to be honest, because he takes so much time to get started, he misses his deadline, which is 2 a.m. And once it's late, it's late. So then he'll go to sleep, and he'll wake up and spend the whole next day, which could have been Christopher.
Next morning, couple hours.
Like today, he could have spent the day doing something totally different, but he was working on homework that he didn't complete last night.
So it has a fallout. Yeah, like, it definitely has a fallout.
But you have adjusted your life around it. And what I've noticed. Positives? Okay, yeah. Okay. Ooh, are there?
Yeah, there are many positives.
All right. Well, I got 2 more things to say. What I have noticed is that since you've been on leave, your ADHD is so much better. Like, I think under stress. And I think when you already have like this time monkey on your back of like not having enough time, all the little details of life just gets, like, you just don't think about them. So I remember, like, when you're at work and you only have like certain breaks or whatever, like, you can't even remember to schedule the boys a haircut. and I take on that. I take on scheduling all your doctor's appointments. I'll take on scheduling everything. But I've noticed like when you have more freedom and more time, it's like you're really more on top of stuff.
Very true.
Yeah, which I love.
Can we talk about the positives?
Okay, well, I have one more thing to say that has how it's affected our relationship.
I'm just waiting to talk about the positives.
We're going to talk about it. It's so many positives. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Unbelievable. Go ahead.
We're going to talk about the impulsivity.
Yeah, this is where we start flowing into the positives.
Yeah, it is good and bad. It is good and bad. But it has been bad in a sense that I think with people who have ADHD, they always got to keep things new and interesting and intriguing. And so I think like that was kind of hard for you in the beginning of managing like seeing somebody or seeing something and being interested in that, like just like off a whim.
So to a degree. So the thing is about and I just want to continue to elevate the conversation. When you're talking about a mental issue, it has its pluses and minuses, right? So a person that may deal with, a phobia, for instance, may protect themselves and others around them from danger that others may not think about. That may be a positive for you. Maybe you're dealing with, what's some other mental illnesses?
Schizophrenia.
Okay. Now I don't really know too many positives about schizophrenia.
Well, maybe you can just live a very creative and grand life.
Maybe, but there's a way that there's a positive. Now, do the negatives usually outweigh those positives? Yes. I mean, do we all want to be more balanced mentally? Absolutely. In this case, when it comes to ADHD, what I deal with tends to be, impulsivity, and that looks like, hey, this next opportunity looks great, and I may, flee the current situation that I may be dealing with without fully, taking advantage of this situation. So now I'm moving on to the next one without really getting all that I could have gotten out of the current one. Whether it was, and this especially in my younger life, a lot, where I don't know if this is a mixture of just being an adolescent and just being immature. So I don't know, it's very hard for me to correlate that, but I will say that when it comes to even women, your impulsivity of just being, a neck turner, like looking here, looking there.
Right.
I don't know a lot of men who haven't had that struggle in their younger years. But it's something that, you can just take hold of, that, wow, like I really got, an issue, with this area of impulsivity. Now, let me tell you something, Mr. Camera. The positives.
And Mr. Podcast.
And the positives of this is simply that my impulsivity keeps things fresh and new and fun and interesting. Okay? The reason that you're listening to this podcast and that you're watching this podcast is because of my impulsivity.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of great impulsivity that goes on.
Absolutely.
Like this $1,000 camera that's in front of us.
Not $1,000, but I will say the fact that Jazmine keeps a brand new phone. That Jazmine, keeps she stays on vacation on a nice vacation.
The fact that we get a brand new TV, or the fact that his mom and grandma came on vacation with us.
I'm just telling you the truth. It has benefits for everyone around us. But you can either be...
No, seriously.
Truth
the fact
told,
that I've seen beautiful things, the fact that, like, I would never pull a trigger on things in a million years. Chris just has an idea. He does it. He executes faster. I
had to play defense here.
Yeah, no, it really
the Kimbe
does.
Mutombo.
What?
Wagging my finger. No.
Oh, no, that's not how he said it. You gotta do a better impression.
No. That's not fair. You shouldn't Okay,
sorry. Wait, I thought this was on Wakanda.
No, the Kimbe Mutombo.
Oh, I thought you was talking about the guy who just played in Us.
Do you know who the Kimbe Mutombo is?
No.
Like Joey.
I didn't know who Nippy was until last.
What's his name? That's Whitney Houston. Unbelievable. Okay, let me just rescue Jazmine. Get back to what we was talking about. Okay,
honestly, no. And I love that man because even though I just found out who he was yesterday, I've been so in my phone looking up every video, looking on every page, looking under every comment because the story has really touched me. I know he was a beautiful, beautiful soul. What's his name?
Nipsey.
Okay, sorry.
Nippy.
That is
Unbelievable. Is it Whitney Houston?
You know, I love me some Whitney.
Oh my Lord.
I love me some Whitney. Okay, so anywho.
And I will always.
No, babe, you don't even hardly do a good justice of that. Just be.
So listen, we're not gonna do part 3, but I will tell you that I want you all to take some time and to just invest it into your well-being, into your mental space, to your mental health. Whether that's meditating, moments of the day, whether that is journaling, whether that's just talking to a therapist. I want to encourage people to sit with a therapist and to really figure out, if you got some imbalance there, whatever it is, to figure it out. Because we go through grief, we go through trauma, and from children, we see things, we hear things, we go through a lot as we become adults. And so don't believe that you're Superman or Superwoman. Yeah. You need the help that we all need. And so I just want to just push into you and implore you to be the best version of yourself. Not just seeking finance, not just seeking opportunities, but truly, truly cleaning this headspace up so that you can ultimately give people the happiness that you deserve.
Thanks for watching.